ever tell you how much I fucking hate doing the intros and coming up with an intro every single episode?
The burden.
Welcome to a whole new pod, a podcast all about Disney Channel original movies. I am your ever positive host, Lucas Melby, joined by
Jacob Tallahassee.
Jacob, who had, by his standards, some funny off-the-cuff jokes that he could have brought up into the intro, but then just said, no, you always do the intro. You always come up with something good. Well, now doesn't he look like
really depressing.
The slacker co-host that, his reputation has also lived up to that for the most part.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome.
He's Lucas Malibu. I'm Jacob Tallahassee.
That was it. That was right there. So, but for Jacob's standards, it is pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
But hey, welcome. We're the podcast where we're watching every single Disney Channel original movie in chronological order, going in depth, talking so long and so hard. About these damn Disney Channel original movies.
They can't get enough.
They should call them damn Channel original movies.
That checks out. It works.
As you can as you can hear from our well put together podcast here, we're quite professionals. Such professionals, in fact, that last episode I forgot to bring up that would have been essentially our 3-year anniversary on that episode.
Congratulations!
Can you believe that we've done 3 years of this podcast?
I don't know. That's pretty good.
Aren't we done yet? Haven't we watched all these fucking movies?
We're not even halfway there.
We're over halfway.
Okay.
This is our 65th episode, I think. Also, I forgot to bring up a Nintendo 64 Kids reference on the last episode. What are we really doing?
Come on, figure it out.
That's definitely a reference that our target demographic, if they're millennials, would get, but the Zoomers, probably not. So, yeah, 3 years. This year, I think, has been our most productive or prolific. We've done a lot of good job putting out episodes all the time. Some of that is due to it just being me and Jacob in most of the episodes, but maybe we got another special one coming up next. Maybe we'll get a special someone. We'll leave that a mystery to who it could be.
Okay.
But we got an exciting movie. Speaking of a big movie next, we had a big movie this episode, which was Cheetah Sisters. Cheetah Girls 2 or the Cheetah Girls 2. I'm not sure if there's a the in there. But first, before we get in, one final little tidbit I had for last episode, Read It and Weep, that somehow I missed when looking over the cast and was too good not to bring up. So if we remember the character Marco Vega, who was the hunky boy who was kind of, he was the classic hunky boy, but wasn't really the best fit for our main girl. So Marco Vega, pretty cool fictional character name.
Yes.
You want to know what his actor's name, or at least his purported stage name is? You could maybe joke and guess this, but this is so absurd. His name is Chad Broski.
Stop.
Chad spelled like normal Chad. Broski just spelled Broskey.
S-key?
It's hard sometimes. Broskey.
Yes.
Fuck you, Jacob. Jacob doesn't do shit. I'm going to tear up all of my notes right now. But yeah, Chad Broski. I don't know how that didn't catch my eye when I was looking at it before, but then
that's a
in classic name. A whole new pod fashion, I found out something after we watched the movie, and I'm like, fuck, now I got to bring this up. For Chad Broski. We don't want to miss that.
No.
Getting into today's movie, Cheetah Girls 2, I think possibly at this point in time, it was the biggest debut for DCOM. I think it actually beat out High School Musical earlier in that year. Beat out the original Cheetah Girls. I think it had high 7 million or low 8 million television rating for its debut. So very popular. The power of the Cheetah Girls goes strong. In fact, that it will go strong into a third Cheetah Girls movie in a couple of years from now, but it will not, unfortunately, have Raven in it. So this, I believe, is just overall, unless a new movie comes out for something like Raven's Home or whatever, this is the final Raven Simone DCOM.
Sad.
No more Xenons, no more Cheetah Girls. This is...
Rest in Cheetah.
I'm trying to remember if she was in a different one, but I don't know. I just brought up that it beat High School Musical's television rating for that year, But there's another connection to High School Musical, which is that Kenny Ortega, who directed all the High School Musicals, also directed the Cheetah Girls 2, which I think brought in some of the flair and some of the good music, some of the choreography.
Oh yeah,
that we
you could
enjoyed.
definitely tell. You had kind of like brought it up at the start of the movie. You're like,
I was already at the start of the movie. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of into this a lot more than any part of the original Cheetah Girls.
I wonder why.
And fun little fact I also found about him, that a couple movies he directed, actual real movies before Disney Channel movies, Hocus Pocus,
wow,
and the Newsies that had a young Christian Bale in it. So that was a more musical-oriented connection for him.
Cool.
Probably would not be selling him short at all to say the High School Musical is definitely his most successful franchise or film foray.
I would say.
So that brings us to the beginning of the Cheetah Girls 2. Speaking of us being our 3rd year anniversary, can you believe this year both going by in a flash but seeming so long? Do you remember anything? We watched the Cheetah Girls 1
and now 2
this year, and Jacob definitely did not seem to remember a lot about it. I don't remember I kind of remember the overarching story, but I remember more of just like the standout bits. Yeah. Mainly the dog being trapped in a manhole or a sewer at the end of the movie, and them singing.
It has been a long year.
Getting the band back together to sing the dog out to its rescue. And like the Cheetah Girls one, we open in New York City. We're getting some shots of the streets, the buildings. And what's that? In the background, we're hearing, "Let them skate." No. It's Cheetah Girls. Yeah. Cheetah Girls. And
always
I'm like, wait, are they actually supposed to be a big deal right now? But nope, we see that it's actually coming
just
from their school auditorium.
Yeah.
Unclear. It seems to be some kind of dance because there's a themed poster called "Welcome to the Jungle," and then we're seeing them up on stage. So are they the musical act
sisters
for the whole dance? But actually, they only seem to do one song, and then somebody else goes.
People
up
are sipping coffee. There's adults. There's old people.
It's very weird, but we're getting an immediate strong musical number, strong dance number.
Yes.
I think this is the only song I wrote down the actual name because I'm like, this is pretty good. It was called "The Party's Just Begun." I say in my notes that it's better than anything in the first movie, music-wise. Yeah. And I got some, and I'm no music historian or really music critic of any kind. Clearly, on this podcast, I am a highfalutin film critic. But I got some like Destiny's Child vibe. Just, I don't have a lot of like non-Korean girls group knowledge, but there's like vocal harmonies going with each other. Everybody's got a standout part. They're playing off of each other, dancing all Disney Channel sexy, I guess.
Oh,
and
yeah, no, that first song was.
Jacob, yeah, yeah.
No,
definitely.
But I think we both agree that first song was probably the best. I even made the comment, it only goes down from here, but it wasn't too much of a decline. It wasn't too much of a decline.
Yeah, kind of like, okay, keep this going.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a lot more music than the first one because of Kenny Ortega's involvement. But
I don't know. I feel like
this movie is longer than the original, and it probably still has the same balance of music to Cheetah Girl drama.
I mean,
as
there
the
probably
original.
7 or 8 different songs, maybe.
But not
more.
all of them are Cheetah Girls songs.
No, that's also true. Yeah.
So
that's true.
To get you all up to speed, and I kind of had to do some quick Googling of saying, what the fuck are these girls' names again? Galleria is Raven.
Yeah.
Chanel is, in this movie as well as the first movie, kind of the second main character.
Yeah.
Despite Galleria at one point later saying that Aqua is her best friend. I'm pretty sure Chanel is her best friend.
Aqua's number 4 on the cheetah scale.
Yes, Aqua, who is also, there's also Dorinda. Dorinda is the poor one who had a major revelation in the first movie that she lived in a foster family.
Yes.
So in the first movie, Galleria, Chanel, Dorinda all had kind of focal stories that popped up. Aqua did not. I think in my research it showed that she actually had a twin sister in the Cheetah Girls books. Clearly not in the movie, and then they didn't even try to give her like any story at all.
Like the first one, yeah. Like the first one, this one's just the same. Like the other 3 kind of have stuff going on, and she has like nothing. She
seems to be similarly rich to Chanel seems to be maybe the richest, and
But
Galleria's also got a rich family.
She doesn't contribute really anything. She does the designs, I guess, the clothing.
She has an actual contribution in this movie, unlike the last one. They also have some throwaway lines that imply she's really smart, and it's like, was that in the first movie that she was all borderline science girl or something?
But the story doesn't focus on her like it does the other girls.
No, again, main focus is on Galleria and Chanel.
Yes.
And we can see that they're the most important because who are the other characters we meet in this opening scene? Both of their moms. We have Galleria's mom and Chanel's mom who are at the school
sipping
dance,
that coffee, man.
Seemingly drinking
Getting
coffee.
that caffeine. Yeah. At the jungle dance, sipping coffee.
Yeah.
With a pineapple.
Beats me, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Basically, something's let slip by Galleria's mom that Chanel's mom is going to be taking Chanel to Barcelona because she's got a boyfriend or hopeful fiance named Luke, who was maybe brought up in the first movie, but I don't remember. Was brought up to maybe be French and live in Paris, but then in this one, he is Spanish and lives in Barcelona. But who gives a shit about the details?
Raven's father lives in Paris?
No, Raven's father is, in this situation, we'll learn I don't even remember if he was in the first movie, but he is some big business dad on a business trip in Hong Kong right now. But this is a big dramatic moment to start because the Cheetah Girls, I don't know if you've heard this, but they're Cheetah sisters. Yeah. They're in it forever.
Cheetah sisters.
And they're just they're always on the precipice of becoming big, it seems. And this is their moment, and it's the summertime, and they can't be broken up by Chanel going to Barcelona for a month or whatever. So they're having a sleepover. They're trying to concoct a way for all of the girls to go because, hey, Luke, the fiance potential, seems like a rich guy, but he's not rich enough, and certainly Dorinda's family cannot pay for her to go to Barcelona.
But he's got the money, definitely.
There's some weird sleepover scene that they're all hanging out, and then Aqua just, from across the room, barely a view of the window, says, "Look, a shooting star," and they all run out to the window.
And it hasn't even started to shoot yet.
And it's there for about a second. So
and then it shoots.
I mean,
conveniently enough,
I've never seen a shooting star, and that's probably because they don't last very long. And by the time somebody says it's a shooting star, you can't see it anymore.
I have seen one or two.
Well, la-di-da, Jacob.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
but they all make a wish, and it's so that they can all go to Barcelona together. And then there's a magic wind that flips the pages of a magazine to a page of some competition in Barcelona, Spain. So there's some dumb time zone joke where they're like, let's call right now. Oh, no,
it's 4 a.m.
So then
they set an alarm for
their own time,
2 a.m. Or 4 a.m., yeah. So then it was 10 a.m. when they would call. 6
Kids love the time zone.
They make this joke later, though, too. Somebody makes
it's not so much a joke. He just
references
says that we're 6 hours ahead.
They like talking about the 6-hour time change.
Kids love time zones. Kids love geography
very
jokes.
Strange.
And then they try to call in at this later time and say, "Oh, sorry, they closed a week ago." But then
they start singing.
I almost said Gardevoir, who's a Pokemon. Galleria then says, "Well, fuck you, we're going to sing and you're going to be so impressed by us." So they all sing the fucking Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters song. And I don't even actually know if those are the exact lyrics, but that's like how my brain interprets that in my
song
mind.
They sing, it's just Cheetah-licious.
And then the person on the phone's like, "You're in," but then she tells them to fill out the application, but then also to come to Barcelona. So it's very kind of odd. And
imagine getting there and then be like, psych.
And we actually do see that they get there and then they still have
to audition, yeah. It's weird.
So they talk to the two moms. No other parents are ever involved.
Correct.
And they're like, "Well, that sounds kind of impressive, but still, how can we get everybody there?" And this is where Galleria says, "Well, I used Dad's business miles on the plane, the business plane, to cover Dorinda's fee. And Aqua's dad is really rich, and he just wants her to
souvenirs.
buy some souvenirs. So that takes care of Aqua. We don't need to hear anything more about her."
Yeah.
And then obviously Chanel's already going. And okay, cool. We'll all get to stay at Luke's place. What is that going to be like?
Just a dump.
Yeah. We'll see later. But
bedroom.
All right. dust off your fingers. What am I doing?
He did it.
I don't want to
physically
clap
dusted.
on the microphone, but all right, dust off your shoulders. We're going to Barcelona.
Dusting off your fingers.
Yep, that's what everybody says, right?
Dusting
That's
them off. Dusting the lava.
Yep. So they arrive in Barcelona, and it was actually filmed in Barcelona. But when they first get there, there's a kind of... It seems like they maybe didn't film it there because they just have like a shot of a bunch of postcards of like, here's all the places we went. And then it just cuts to them at a restaurant being like, wow, boy, are my arms tired. Whirlwind trip in Barcelona. But then we do get to see in basically the next scene a lot of cool architecture scenes, and they hop around to different places. So it was in España, if you will.
Wow. So
they end up at an open air cafe. They're talking, saying fucking Cheetah-licious or whatever.
Oh, of course. Gotta.
And then, like at the beginning of the movie, there's something in the distance. What's that? Oh, what
is that?
It's nice, sexy Spanish acoustic guitar boy. But he's got like a big doofy like mop of curly hair. We don't know his name yet, and he is awkwardly, or maybe for teenage girls at the time, sexily descending some stairs at this restaurant. And then just starts singing a song to them. And Chanel, who knows Spanish, is translating some of the words. And it seems that he is actually singing directly to them.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of morphs into, he's just like suddenly teleported down right next to them. And then they start singing with him. And
they're
then
dancing down the street.
Take it to the streets.
They're all over the place. And they're, I don't know. It was quite the scene.
Like High School Musical, where there are sometimes songs that exist within the context of like a stage where it's clear that they're performing. Yes. This is one where I guess realistically they could just be running down the streets of Barcelona singing out songs, and certainly some people seem to be into what they're doing, but it doesn't quite seem to make sense. But spoiler alert, the guy's name is Angel. Galleria asks him his name at the end. He's coming along with them singing. I kind of enjoyed this number as well. I thought it was another improvement over the original movie. But whenever Angel, the guitar kid, comes in, his voice just doesn't really vibe, I felt, with the rest of them. But he's only kind of in at the end, and then it's over. Galleria asks him his name, and it's like, ooh, Angel. And then it kind of seems, and as we get a quick succession of different scenes popping up, that Angel and Galleria are kind of paired up romantically. Yes. But it doesn't actually pan out that way. No, it doesn't.
There's only kind of one little pairing.
Yeah, beyond Chanel's mom and
within the girls, within the girls,
correct,
circle there,
within the Cheetah sisters.
Yes.
Well choreographed, big musical number like High School Musical. So still at this point, I'm like, okay, all right, this is like a little Mamma Mia, maybe going to a foreign land. Hey, here we go again. Am I right? The Mamma Cheetah Mia. Girls. And as this movie continued to go along, it definitely felt more like, oh, here we go. Then they go to Chanel's mom's boyfriend's Luke's house.
Yes.
Which is this spacious European villa.
It was pretty fancy.
And Chanel is downplaying it. It's just like you see in the movies, and which would imply that that's actually a cool thing. Yes. But she's saying everybody's seen a spacious European villa.
Well, at first they were talking about the car, and then she's like, oh, the car's not that big. And she's like, not the car, the house. The car was like, I don't know if it was like a Rolls Royce or what it was. It was a fancy car, though, too.
And it's not immediately clear, and if I was, I don't know, paying more attention or cared, it'd be more clear immediately that, oh, she doesn't like Luke because she doesn't want a new dad. We don't really know. Maybe it was in the first movie. We don't know what happened to Chanel's previous father.
It sounds like she's had multiple fathers that keep breaking her mother's heart.
Or at least multiple boyfriends for her mom. So I guess that's why she also is extra defensive and wants to question everything Luke does. But Luke seems like a pretty cool dude.
He seems cool, yeah.
Though actually, when he first pops up, it seems like he could be the villain. But you could say, do the Cheetah Girls 2 really need a villain? I would say no, but does it have a villain? Kind of, but it's not Luke. No. Despite him seeming even almost like a James Bond villain. It's wearing a
Scarface,
a nice suit, being a rich person. That's all you really need to be a James Bond villain. But he's got a staff of maids and butlers who despite being in Spain, seem mostly
Good
British.
Oh, yeah.
They do speak Spanish, but it doesn't sound very good.
The one lady was the guy's husband. Guy was the lady's husband. They were all like related though. All like the help was in some way.
Yeah, and they're getting a tour, and then Luke pops up, and they're all like, "He seems pretty cool." And Chanel, he sucks. And Aqua says, "Well, give me a few years, and if your mom doesn't want him, I'll take him." And I'm like, Disney Channel.
Yes.
Settle down.
Aquamarine.
So Chanel is all ready for them to, hey, let's get out of here. Let's move on. So then they go to the theater where the competition is supposed to take place, or at least where they're supposed to go, because the competition doesn't actually take place inside that theater later on.
They're still need to do their rehearsal thing.
So then, from the balcony, the director calls out and says, Oi, mister!
What are you doing here? What are you doing, Miss Wolf?
You them there Cheetah Girls! See, now he speaks in a Spanish accent. And he says, hey, you guys gonna do something? Do something crazy.
But he's like speaking in Spanish too, and she's like, one of the girls is translating what he's saying.
Basically, he says, hey, you're actually not in the competition yet.
Perform.
So what do? They just sing the song that they sang on the phone earlier, the Cheetah Sisters song. And then
he doesn't seem necessarily
he cuts them off
happy.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's like, that's done. We're done for the day. And then he makes a phone call.
Yeah.
And then a woman walks in, and then she's like, you made it. And that was that.
And you would think, if this was a different movie, and potentially a movie I would have liked more if this was more of a focal point of the movie, this competition, you're bringing in other acts, potentially other groups. I think that's a big thing in the Pitch Perfect movies, or hey, Sister Act 2 back in the Habit, that's a music competition thing. This is basically almost in the background for the rest of the movie, is that there's a music competition that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because the long running thing, as we'll go into more details of it, is that Galleria, like she was in the first movie, very devoted to the Cheetah Girls.
Yes.
And that comes through here, where she's like, all right, we're in this competition. Let's start rehearsing. We're planning this out. And in a bit of a zag from the first movie, where I don't even exactly remember, I think she was willing to like sell out their image and make them wear the animal masks so that they got a record deal or whatever.
That sounds,
and that upset the friends. In this situation, she's focused on this competition for the Cheetah Girls. And one by one, all of the other girls in the group get diverted their attentions to other areas. And she's the only one devoted to it. And it seems like we're maybe kind of supposed to be sympathetic to Galleria in this movie as opposed to the original, even though her character is very similar. But then they bring up some like forced drama where it's like all the girls are mad, or at least Chanel's mad at Galleria for caring too much about the Cheetah Girls.
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of ourselves. And once we get there,
Chillax.
It'll be solved in about a minute.
Yes.
And then there'll be something later on that's a big deal that also gets solved in about a minute.
Everything, just like Disney. Like we always see, like the conflicts always happen with 20
Some
minutes
of them in this movie is even shorter time frames than like 5 minutes.
Like a scene.
Yeah. Moving on. So as Galleria is laying out their rehearsal schedule, we see the first distraction roll up on a moped or motorcycle. And I put in my notes, hunky boy, who mostly seemed a little lanky.
He's scrawny little.
Jacob commented on his teeth saying, hey, I'm not kissing those. But this is Joaquin, who is the nephew, maybe, of Luke.
Joaqui.
How else would it be
I don't know.
spelled?
Joaquin.
Like Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh.
So he is Luke's nephew, maybe, who is also a count.
Yeah.
Like a count. And
like he counts.
Has some connection to a teen club called the Dancing Cat.
Yeah.
That's brought up here, but also is brought up that he is a dance performer and is a dance competitor. And that immediately interests Dorinda, because she is the choreographer for the Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters.
But he shows interest in her before she says that, I believe. She's like into her. They're like, there's already like fire. You can see the passion.
Yeah. She's like, oh, come to my studio. And she's like, maybe I will. Okay. And then he walks away. And like, as he just exits the frame, so he would still be within earshot of all of them, the Cheetah Girls are like, oh my God, he likes you so much. You like him. Check off one, that Dorinda is maybe thinking about other stuff besides the Cheetah Girls there in Barcelona.
So both the two girls, the one's maybe stressing about the dad, not liking the dad, and now the other one's stressing about
this next part I'm just remembering now. So we're getting Luke and Chanel's mom. We're getting Joaquin and Dorinda. Then this next scene, they're out shopping, and in Barcelona, Galleria's mom encounters some long-lost friend named Randolph. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, who I think is actually Spanish. So I don't feel like Randolph's a very Spanish name. But then I'm like, wait, is this like
a callback?
You know, an old flame coming up, and she's gonna be pulled away from Hong Kong, Dad, or whatever.
No.
But then quickly we meet his wife, who is a fashion designer, and that's very exciting to Aqua, who's there. So she's getting drawn and distracted by this fashion world.
Yeah.
So that's two who have been knocked out with what they should be paying attention to, which is the Cheetah Girls. But yeah, I was very concerned about Randolph. And also I was kind of like, I really don't care about Galleria's
You were concerned or jealous, or...
Yeah,
little jealousy there.
So then Dorinda goes and visits Joaquin at his dance studio where he's practicing with his other dance friends, and both male and female.
All in black, surrounded by various letters.
Yeah, there's just weird giant letters on the sides. Don't spell anything. Unrelated to eventual later marquee sign we see in the dance studio that says the Cheetah Girls. But then it's funny that he makes Dorinda change into a similar black dress as everybody else. And then they have a very steamy dance number where it has a song, but it's not a song that they're necessarily dancing to. And it's not a song performed by the Cheetah Girls, seemingly. Mm-hmm. And because it's got a male performer.
Yes.
And I thought this was another good song. Some good dance choreography here. There are other dancers with them, Joaquin and Dorinda, but as it gets to the end, they're the only ones on the floor. And then the end, and they're all panting, they're huffing and puffing.
They're huffing and puffing. They didn't even show his friends leave. They just disappeared. So
my notes here are, it's a bit much, Disney Channel. It's maybe getting a little too sexy.
They should have had, in the background, it getting darker outside, because when they're done, she mentions, oh, man, look what time it is.
They just lost the time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So they've been dancing for hours, but it's still, bright out.
She goes back, her feet are covered in blisters.
Oh, my God. Sticky.
And then that night, we name dropped it a little bit earlier, but I was very interested to hear about and see this dancing cat nightclub for teenagers. So they go there at the invitation, I believe, of Joaquin. There's a VIP line, and he lets them get through. But then the interior kind of just looks like Disney Channel interior or Nickelodeon live action series. Like this could have been a Drake and Josh set or whatever.
No.
It's like, okay, it's a cool club for teens. And then we meet Marisol, who is...
Aerosol?
That doesn't even count as a joke. So Marisol with an M, who is, we'll learn, another competitor for this. I think the competition's called, Next Voices or New Voices or something like that. And when she starts singing, because some of what she's singing in this performance at the Dancing Cat is in Spanish. So then I'm like, can the Cheetah Girls get away with just singing in English? But don't worry, actually, because when we get to the end, oh man, it's in Spanish. And you're going to lose your fucking mind. But I believe, I looked it up, that this Marisol, she has at least currently gone on to be an actual singer of some renown. She goes by Belinda. I think she's from Mexico. So she actually is pretty good with her performance. She's wearing a top hat and taking that off, and then she's dancing on a chair, kind of doing an almost flash dance kind of thing.
I was feeling the vibes there.
No bucket of water being dropped on top of her, though.
Unfortunately not.
Fortunately or unfortunately?
Unfortunately.
Okay, I was seeing if the UN was at the beginning of it, and actually maybe I'll alert the UN too, Jacob.
Ooh.
And then she crowd surfs, and then when she's done crowd surfing, there's a guy in the audience who nicely puts her top hat back on her head, and then she ends, and the crowd fucking loses their mind. And
I
Cheetah Girls, I think, were like, I guess she's pretty good. But they feel a little threatened, or at least Galleria, as we'll see, threatened by her.
I would say there's some threat there.
But then Angel, or actually Angel, as it should be said, he comes out onto the stage and says, hey, all right, we're going to kind of bring this down a little bit lower, have a nice slower song. So he's just playing a song on his acoustic guitar. Then at the table where the Cheetah Girls are at, Chanel's like, oh my God, I know this song. My mom used to sing it to me. So she just starts singing it at the table. And if I'm thinking about, like, in the reality, if I was in this situation, I'd be like, oh my God, I do not know this bitch. Why is she doing this to me? But then Marisol, the singer from just before, she comes over and starts singing, and they're both singing in Spanish, and it's this whole thing. The crowd comes up behind them at this table. I think they maybe even start, like, waving their hands in the air at some point. They just completely love this acoustic rendition of whatever song this is. And then it ends, and the crowd again goes crazy. And Marisol, I think, introduces herself, and then we meet Marisol's mother, Lola, who...
Bunny?
Don't even. Oh. She looks nothing like Lola Bunny. No. In fact, she maybe looks more like Ursula the Sea Witch.
It's not the...
Not that we need to dwell on her looks, but we do because she's a villain. She is by far the oldest lady in the movie, which means she's the most evil.
But she has a daughter that's nice and kind-hearted. But they just get strung along.
I was also thrown off that both Marisol and her mom seem to know the Cheetah Girls. And at this point, there still doesn't seem to have been any reason why the Cheetah Girls should be really known outside of their school. Unless they just saw on the sign-up sheet that there was a group called the Cheetah Girls for this competition. But Lola starts acting in some ways where it's like, is she actually evil? Does this movie actually need a villain? And is she somehow supposed to be conspiring against the Cheetah Girls to make them lose somehow? The answer is
yes.
Yes, question mark? Because her first actions is like, oh, we're going here to meet up with Marisol and Lola. And I'm like, oh, is she going to tell them to go to this really far off spot? They're not going to show up and it's going to waste some rehearsal time.
Well.
Nope. Lola and Marisol are just there and they talk and I don't know, something else happens and then they go to like a weird teen party at like a different seaside villa and there's
people dancing on rocks and stuff.
Like people next to the water.
People are getting pretty wild.
They're eating tapas and Jacob's
tapas.
Ooh, he's trying to be all worldly. He's like, oh, have you had tapas? I'm like, get the fuck off. Get off of my show, Jacob Telejohn.
Tallahassee.
Jacob Tallahassee.
That's
Jacob Tallahassee.
Jacob Tallahassee.
Now my notes say, let's check in with the moms.
Oh, the moms.
So we've already kind of seen some of what Galleria's mom's got going on. She's meeting up with Randolph and the fashion designer, and I guess she's reawakening some love of fashion she had along with Aqua. But then Chanel's mom is kind of pissed off that Luke hasn't given her a ring yet. Hey, Luke, if you like her, then you should have put a ring on it.
Yeah.
All the single furries, if you like it, you should have put a... How does that go? Maybe you'll hear at the end of the episode.
No, I hope not.
Oh, yeah, I think Galleria's mom is kind of immediately suspicious of Lola, too.
Yeah, no, they...
With really no reason, but...
No, but she knows
show moms.
Yeah, I can't remember how she described her, but yeah, she was not feeling her, definitely not.
And at this moment, it's the culmination of the, I guess, conflict. All of the girls being pulled in different directions. Galleria is trying to get everybody together to rehearse, but Dorinda's off going to dance with Joaquin. Chanel's going to do fashion stuff with that designer and Galleria's mom. Chanel, we see, is hanging out with Marisol or whatever, singing in Spanish because they can talk in Spanish together. So that leaves Galleria just alone, writing her songs on the piano. And we get a music montage, maybe a Cheetah Girls song, but we're not seeing them actually singing it, cutting together these different scenes of them. It's not too overly dramatic yet, but that will still come. Oh, actually, before something happens, Galleria finds Chanel hanging out with Marisol.
Oh, and she's getting pissy.
There's the hilarious line of Chanel's like, oh, yeah, I'll come see you in like 2 minutes. And Galleria says...
2 minutes can turn into 2 weeks.
Like, well, that is some escalation there.
Oh, my God.
But that's how serious Galleria is. And that's basically like the most mean she gets in this. But then Chanel immediately responds to be like, you're so selfish. You're making it all about yourself. And it's like, Not really. She's just making it about the Cheetah Girls when everybody else is forgetting about it.
Yeah.
That's why you're in Barcelona. You're not there to find love? Come on. This isn't When in Rome. Was that a Hilary Duff movie, When in Rome?
I think that's, I'm not going to comment.
Okay. Jacob got his fucking phone out. He's looking down at it. You're like, I can't look this up. Look up When in Rome, Hilary Duff right now. I'm gonna miss my picks for the golf game tonight. There's team handball happening right now. Kristen Bell, all right.
With Josh Duhamel.
So different, tiny blonde.
John
actors.
Heder.
Oh, okay.
Napoleon Dynamite. Will Arnett and Dak Shepard.
I believe.
And Danny DeVito.
Dak Shepard. Kristen Bell married. So maybe they were together, or maybe that's what brought them together.
Wow.
Who cares? It's not Disney. I fucked up. It was not Hilary Duff. I think I'm thinking of the Lizzie McGuire movie where she goes. Does she go to Rome in that one, or she goes to Paris or something?
Oh, Gordo.
It's not a Disney Channel movie, so we will not watch it.
What the?
Maybe when we get to the end after
Gordo.
Dunstan checks in and Good Burger or whatever.
We're gonna watch Good Burger.
A couple of different times I made the joke that this will be a Disney Channel original movie podcast until we get to the end, and then we'll just watch Good Burger for every single episode. No. So that's for the OG fans out there. All me. I'm the only OG
biggest fan.
I listen to every episode when I write. I edit, so I have the OG, the OS of the Gs. So there's a falling out. Chanel's pissed at Galleria. Galleria's kind of pissed at everybody. And I didn't feel like it was fair for them to be like shifting this to where it's like, isn't she just like in the first movie? She's a bitch. And it's like, actually, no, I feel like Galleria's in the right in the situation. But hey,
I agree.
We gotta have that conflict.
Yeah. That's what guides every Disney Channel original movie. There's never been a movie where there has been conflict.
Yes, but there can be less like outward conflict. Like Napoleon Dynamite. We just brought up John Heder. There's conflict that comes up of like, he has the competition.
The big game. The
big
voting.
game in there. Yeah,
the
he's
votes.
Running for, or Pedro's running for class president. There's the conflict of Kip and will he get with LaFonda.
That's true.
Let me tell you, I could go, I fucking love Napoleon Dynamite.
That's a great movie.
So much.
The tetherball match.
I've talked to some people about Napoleon Dynamite recently, and I don't know if it's just like the time I watched it and like how much I watched it, but there's like lines I'll like put out from Napoleon Dynamite that like nobody would necessarily recognize. Like one of my favorite moments in that movie is when Uncle Rico he's going deep. It's when he's supposed to be taking Napoleon to pick up Trisha for the dance. And he stops off at some lady's house, and the lady just opens her door, and he immediately barges in going, got your 24-piece set right here. And if I say that to somebody who even is like, I love Napoleon Dynamite, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, there's obviously innumerable quotable lines in there, and I love all those lines. That's what you gotta say.
I can throw that pigskin over those mountains. She's like, that's
the lady I want that. the mini sailboat.
Yes, I remember that.
All right, we're actually stopping the episode.
Napoleon Dynamite recap
Napoleon
review.
Dynamite. What a movie! What a movie!
My God.
Less of a movie though. Cheetah Girls 2. Oh, do you remember the Napoleon Dynamite animated TV show? I think they made like half a season. I watched the first episode. It's not good. It's not good. No, I'm just sad that we have to keep talking.
We talk about Superbad.
Superbad's no Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, ouch!
I actually like. We'll move on. We have to move on. I'm just trying to kill time as I find back my place in my notes. Oh yes, so the conflict has finally risen to the point where Galleria is basically saying like, "Hey, you know what? Everybody else is having
doing
her
own thing. I'm gonna just leave, do my own thing."
Yeah, they're all having a fun time in Barcelona. Yeah. They don't want to do the competition.
No,
that's fine. I've talked to Business Daddy. He's actually got a layover in Paris. I'm going to take a train there, head out. It's all good. And Galleria's mom's like, you're so strong. You sure you don't want me to come? And she's like, nah, you got fucking fashion or whatever. Yeah. Go see Randolph.
Randolph. The Gray.
She says, see ya, bitch.
Yeah.
And then the other girls find out that, I don't know why, it takes my mind so hard to find Galleria to keep bringing that up, but that
you just call her Gallery
or G. So the girls find out and they're so distraught and they want to go talk to her. But then the other moms are like, hey, no, she's actually sleeping right now. Leave her alone. Talk to her in the morning. Right. But she's not actually asleep because then we get a music.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a duet, but they're separated in location.
Yes.
So Raven's in her room singing. Chanel's out walking around, and then eventually the other girls join in too.
So everybody's singing this.
It's a full number,
song.
And I thought this one was one of the better songs too. Even if it was one where I identified at the start, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom during this song. It ended up being a stronger musical number.
Yeah,
very emotional. So then the next morning, they go to talk to Galleria, but she's gone already.
Yeah, so
and she's left a note on her bed.
Who knows how long she must have been gone?
I think the note she left on her bed might have been actually the sheet music she had written.
Oh, yeah, I think it was.
The Cheetah Girls.
Yes.
And then we see Galleria at the train station, looking at her ticket where she goes, and then she hears...
She starts hearing singing, but she's brushing it off like it's in her head or something weird.
Yes.
She's like, oh, that can't be real. And then she keeps hearing it, and she's looking around.
And then she turns, and all of the girls are there in their pajamas. PJs. Just at the train station. How do they get there in time? Don't worry about it.
Right.
So, classic Disney Channel fashion, conflict risen.
And a scene.
Quick,
and a minute.
Quickly dissipated by, hey, take us to the train station.
Yeah.
And then Lola calls the girls and is so sad to hear that they got back with Galleria. And then she's talking to Marisol afterwards. And Marisol's like, what was I supposed to do? Shove her onto the train? And wait, was Lola somehow, we're supposed to believe she concocted this breakup
to get her
between
to leave.
The Cheetah Girls?
That's what they were trying to...
Literally all she maybe did was tell Marisol to hang out with Chanel more.
Yeah.
So that was all. Again, at this point, I'm like, well,
Which
she's not
her.
really a villain. She just wants the group to break up. But at this point, she wasn't really doing much to make it happen.
It's weird because later on, I don't know, but then she wants her daughter to join
That's why
them.
I say she's a kind of villain because at one point she does one villainous thing.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the time, it's questionable whether she's actually doing anything at all.
She just wants her daughter to
she's just she's a show mom. She cares.
Yes.
She just cares too much.
Too much.
We get some stupid resolution with Chanel finally making up with Luke saying, hey, I don't want you to hurt my mom. I've seen her be hurt too much. Also, I kind of want to live in New York City. And Luke's like, yep, okay, I'm going to go propose to your mom and we'll live in New York City. And okay, yep. And this whole time I'm like, this movie's longer than the original. And a decent portion of it is devoted to Chanel's mom. Was this in the books or was there a focus group of the first movie where everybody's like, I really like Chanel's mom? Can we have more about Chanel's
they did
mom?
focus on the parents.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I just wanted them to sing a bunch of songs and all I get is half the songs are fucking Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters. There's supposed to be a music competition in this movie.
Yeah, they really
remember the music competition? We're still not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. Oh, yeah, I kind of completely glossed over. There's a moment where Dorinda gets mad at the Count, Joaquin, because she finds out he's a Count, and he wears a suit at one point. And she's like, why did you tell me to dress up? Is it because I'm poor from a foster family?
Yeah,
I can't relate to you. I hate you so much.
Well, I think, so she showed up at his studio, and as soon as she showed up, he started to tell his suit friends to leave.
I thought they weren't even his friends. I figured they were business people helping him as a Count.
Yeah.
But
so then she was like,
here,
oh, are you embarrassed of me or something, I think, right? That was kind of what it was. Because I'm
poor.
Are you embarrassed of me because I'm poor?
And here, actually, I don't even know if she had said she was, because I think it's here that she got mad at him. And she's like, I'm from a foster family. Yeah. You don't get me. And then later, 2 scenes later, he says, I'm a poor Count. I've got the title, but I got no money. That's why I can relate to you, even though I can't necessarily, because I don't know, is he somehow related to Luke? Because Luke seems to got a lot of fucking money. Whatever.
How does one become a Count?
You just get born into it.
Wow.
For the most part, I think. I don't know if...
What does it even mean?
England, I think the Queen back in the day could grant your house lands or something if you, I don't know, fucking... did some real cool shit or whatever. But at this point, it's the aristocracy. It's just inherited and passed down.
Dracula.
Which is part of the reason why we have stuff in America like the estate tax, that it's supposed to prevent the development of an aristocracy like back in England. But the estate tax isn't a thing because the rich people convince the poor people that it's going to affect them, even though it only affects very rich people. And then the very rich people just going to pass down their fucking money to all their kids, and then they're set for life. And let's talk about Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, no.
All right, so that's another conflict that quickly gets resolved if you were very worried about Dorinda and Joaquin getting back together. I don't know. Did they kiss at some point? Maybe they kiss here? I don't know. I definitely am not dialed into caring about when people kiss in these movies, if that hasn't become clear over the number of episodes we've done. So now the problems are solved. And hey, remember that music competition? Well, they finally, probably about like an hour and 10 minutes into the movie, finally have a rehearsal for the competition. They're doing it within the dance studio, and I didn't pick up on most of the lyrics, but there's one very specific and literal one where in the scene, they're facing a mirror. And the lyric is, let's turn away from the mirror.
So they do a 180. From the mirror. They do a full 180.
There's a
half 180.
There's a slightly cool scene transition that I feel like some aspects of this, maybe Kenny Ortega, he's working with ideas for High School Musical 2. He's just taking care of Cheetah Girls 2 in the background, not giving his full creative effort, but there's a transition where like the mirrors get moved, and then all of a sudden they're on the stage at
that was cool.
Club Dancing Cat.
Club Pussy Cat Dancing.
El Gato.
Yes.
Dancing
Pussy.
I keep wanting to call it like Teen Dancing
Teen
Cat.
Dancing.
Club Teen Cat or something. I don't know. But then they're up there and they're continuing the song. I didn't really like this song as much as some of the others.
Their outfits changed. They had like newspaper writing on them. That's all I noticed.
If that makes any sense to you. But they got like weird clothes. Lots of like denim. Weird. Some cheetah print showing up as you would expect for
naturally.
The Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of reference to the Cheetah Girls. Is there in this movie really?
I don't know. I don't know how.
I don't know.
I mean, the movie's all about the Cheetah Girls. I mean, in some ways, it's not about the Cheetah Girls.
Yeah, it isn't. It's like
I don't know. Did it have to be fucking like cats?
I wanted more cat stuff. I wanted ears. I wanted the ears. I wanted the
cheetahs.
I wanted the tails. But when they're at the studio,
the first Cheetah Girls movie, they're wearing freaking like seal and polar bear masks at one point.
When they are at the studio, though, the letters randomly spell out Cheetah Girls. Remember all the random
They're not
B's?
the same letters.
They're not the same. But they do. It does spell out Cheetah Girls for whatever reason. There'd be no reason.
It's a lot of work to make a light-up marquee in this dance studio that they end up not bringing with them to their actual performance either.
There was no reason for that.
So
they're just like, we have this. We're going to use it.
There is, speaking of Chad Broski, we did at the top. There's Marco. There's some random dancer in Marco who gets pulled in to do lots of grunt work for them with setting up the dance studio.
Yes.
Anyways, they're at Club
Penguin
Dancing Cat. They finish their set, and then Lola's like, all right, girls, you're so good. Come find the club owner, who seems to maybe be also English or Australian.
Yeah, there's do
they not have any Spanish people?
No, there's no Spanish people here.
And he's doling out 100 euros for all 4 of the girls.
Yeah, he's shilling out.
And Lola is very insistent that they get paid.
They get paid, and I took note of this. I said, this is not good.
Jacob believes. He says, this is villainous action.
Yeah, she's making sure they get paid. There's gotta be a reason for that money exchange.
Sometimes the Disney Channel movies expect you to read into things. Yeah. Other times, like in Cowbells, nope. Uncle Bob was just the bad guy. He took the money. There was no further secret. In that situation, that movie had kind of a villain, but not really for the majority of it. Where this really doesn't need a villain. Also kind of doesn't have a villain for the majority of it. But then towards the end, it's like, Lola is really bad. At least as bad as you can be in a Cheetah Girls movie.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the big deal about us getting paid? Well, it comes to the time for the competition. And then the head of the competition shows up and says, hey, I heard you got paid by Dancing Cat Man. That means you're a professional. Yes. This competition is for amateurs.
He's
Get
pissed.
out.
He is upset. He's spaghetti.
Stop that. Dustin told me that's some fucking TikTok speak or some shit.
What?
Or maybe you just say it a lot on TikTok. So I'm putting a kibosh to it right now.
No, I will bring it up again, damn it. That's going to be my thing now.
I don't want to relate to the young people. I want to feel alienated. So then Lola immediately swoops in and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, I'll get you guys can get into the competition. I'll hook you up with Marisol."
Yes.
"Oh, but all of Marisol's songs are in Spanish, and we don't know Spanish." "Well, Chanel, you know Spanish, right?" Yeah, I guess." "Okay, actually, you know what? Chanel, you can be with Marisol so that the Cheetah Girls are represented in some way on the world stage." Okay,
yes.
Cool. But then they immediately go to the club owner. They pay him back the money, and he says, "This is fucking weird, but whatever. I'll take free child labor."
Yes.
Rock on, dudes. And then, I don't know if this is like the same day or like the day before, and then they go back to the competition, and then the director's like, "I got word from the owner of the club that Lola, you made them get paid."
Yeah.
How could you know that?
Well, see,
Enter Angel.
Because he was hiding in the background in the shadows. You could see him hiding in the shadows watching them give the money back.
Oh,
yes,
sure.
He was
I
back
thought you just
there.
meant he was at the club watching them, and I'm like, well, I don't know if he was necessarily hiding in the audience being like, "Good show, guys."
No,
Good show.
yeah. Well, when they were giving the money back, he was like in the background, like watching them give
I
the
missed
money
that because he
back.
kind of looks similar to, I think, the club owner.
Oh.
That they're both kind of just lanky and gaunt.
But yeah, he was
Not
there.
that I'm
he,
not
he,
lanky
He
and
saw
gaunt.
the exchange, getting that money back to him.
So then, conflict solved. But now Marisol's so pissed at her mom that she's not going to be in the competition, and she hates her mom.
Hates her.
And
Dates her.
it's, again, another conflict that comes up and immediately taken care of. So then we're in basically the end of the movie.
The end.
Where Marisol's supposed to go up and perform, but then she doesn't come out, and everybody in the crowd's sad because everybody loves Marisol. She seems super popular, despite the fact that this is her like third or fourth competition because she hasn't won the other ones.
No.
But then it's the Cheetah Girls' time.
Couple of them have some fun outfits.
It starts out with Angel or Angel
Yes.
playing the guitar.
Hey, well, he has the big poster of himself too, of course.
Yeah, but weirdly he's
large.
the icon of the competition.
Huge. So maybe he's won it before.
He's a cheetah brother.
Oh, wow.
All the outfits they have were designed by Aqua in her super subplot of being a fashionista.
Correct.
Raven comes out. She starts up being like, "Hey, we fucking, we break up sometimes, but hey, we get through all this stuff."
Cheetah sisters.
And then all of a sudden it busts into that weird Amigas Cheetahs.
Yes, Amigas Cheetahs.
So that, of course, translates to cheetah friends, but it's essentially just cheetah sisters in Spanish. And I was very underwhelmed. Not that the end of the High School Musical is my favorite number in that, but that was a very big, bombastic song.
Mr.
This is similar to that. It brings everybody together. The director of the frickin' competition comes out and is playing on his goddamn trumpet. There's a band popping up. Marisol comes up. She's mic'd up for some reason. She starts singing. And then it just kind of keeps repeating the same stuff of Amigas Cheetahs. That's how we stay tight forever.
Oh.
That's not even too far off from something what they say.
No,
that's pretty close, right. I think.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it does not hold up necessarily to the finale of Cheetah Girls 1, where they sing that song to save the dog in the sewer. Like High School Musical, it just goes on and on. And then the movie ends. Yeah. They walk out through the crowd. The song keeps going.
The whole crowd follows them out.
Roll credits. And then a different song starts playing that was from earlier in the movie. And then there's no credit scene like in High School Musical. It's just, that's the Cheetah Girls. Did they win the competition? I don't know.
We don't know if they won, but everything got wrapped up. They got married. Or they proposed.
They got...
the
moms did, presumably. They better show up in Cheetah Girls 3 with how much time we spent down there.
Yeah. We don't know if Raven ever got with that one guy.
Yeah, so there wasn't a moment at the end where they kissed, which you would maybe expect with how the pairings were. But maybe Raven wasn't into that. And that was Cheetah Girls 2. No sub
TOO.
No, it's not called that. It's called Two Grr.
Oh.
It's spelled TOO, but the O's are like cheetah print.
Oh.
No, it's not.
That'd be kind of cool.
But
like Cheetah Paws.
Jacob, how do you feel Cheetah Girls 2 in general compared to the original?
I got High School Musical vibes throughout the kind of the whole movie. Like I noticed, I guess I had noticed it before you'd mentioned that he had did it. You know, that was the vibes I had got from like that first kind of little song and dance. And I don't know, I like the there's
lots of extras.
The architecture, yeah, there were a lot of extras. I like the architecture and like the scenery that some of the places they go. I thought that was kind of cool that they actually like went there rather than just like a back a lot.
I mean, that's easy production value. Just go to a place that looks cool.
No, I enjoyed that. That was cool. I don't know. I guess it was okay.
I didn't love this movie. I don't think it matches up to High School Musical.
No.
I think it's better than the original Cheetah Girls.
Yes,
I think it's got better music overall. I think the story, the first Cheetah Girls, for something that became a pretty big deal for Disney Channel, the first Cheetah Girls movie is so weird.
With like the masks and like them selling
the music industry stuff. I don't think the music's that good in it. Galleria or Raven is kind of just a bitch the whole time.
Yeah.
But I guess you need the origin story before they do the fun other stuff. So I thought, the dumb trip to Barcelona was fun. I enjoyed the different places they went to as well. The subplots, while they were very contrived with setting up conflict between the girls, it gave everybody something to do. Even Aqua, even though she's still in this one, got a bit of the shorter end of the stick again. But hey,
maybe she redeems herself in 3.
Cheetah Girls 3, they're one girl shorter, so
they're not their main star anymore. So
maybe we'll finally meet Aqua's parents.
I wonder if they recast her or if they just write her out. They just write her out.
This isn't a Marnie situation. You can't replace Raven.
No,
she was hardly in Xenon 3, anyways. She was. Yeah, it was that one where she just kept calling in from like weird green screen land to be like, the weather here's fucked right now.
She was probably doing her show, That's So Raven.
I guess. I don't know.
Maybe that was still a big deal.
Wendy Wu, Brenda Song could fucking do Sweet Life and that.
That's
I guess
true.
I mean, she wasn't the main character of Sweet Life, but anywho, so yeah, not the greatest, but not the worst. That's the slogan of A Whole New Pod.
Of all of our, that's
about the movies, but also just about the podcast in general. I think it's fair to call us, hey, rate us on iTunes. Body of the thing just be not the greatest, but not the worst.
I like that. I can get behind that.
Meh. So as we were just kind of talking about, our next movie is going to be Return to Halloween Town.
Looking forward to that.
Where Marnie actually does get recast by a different actress. And final Halloween Town movie, but I'll add for now. And also, actually, I could see Cheetah Girls, Halloween Town, Xenon. I could easily see any of these getting some kind of nostalgia Disney Plus play.
I hope so.
I mean, I don't have a lot of investment in whether.
No, but I don't know. I think it would bring back more interest into these. Maybe our old episodes would get a boost in views.
Wow, Jacob's just all about the metrics. He doesn't care about the art of the DCOM.
But it would be cool to see maybe what kind of cool special effects they could do with nowadays.
I think the biggest sign of that would be that, hey, they remade Under Wraps.
Yeah.
So they at least recognize that they have old movies.
Yeah.
They fucking try to touch Can of Worms. I'm going to burn them to the ground.
What if they remake everyone in order?
You cannot. But that... I mean, I would not put that past Disney Channel because, in large part, Disney as a company is completely creatively bankrupt. They've had all of their live-action remakes of their cartoon movies. And
they're doing Ursula now.
Another girl boss villain origin movie. Because, like, Cruella de Vil...
I like the Cruella movie.
I haven't seen the movie, but, like, within the 101 Dalmatians movies, she's a dog killer to make clothes. With that end product, it's very hard to make her a sympathetic character when you know how she ends up.
So she's
like Ursula. Ursula, she's a bad villain. Like, she's not like a tweener or anything. She's just bad.
She's a bad bitch.
She's harvesting and locking up souls of countless mermaids and mermen.
Yeah. But she ain't killing no dogs in the
No, she has the weird origin that her mom was maybe killed by dogs, but not really. The dogs actually were forced to kill her by
the whistle.
The whistle. I haven't seen the movie, but I still know about the movie.
Yeah, watch it. It's okay.
It's on Disney Plus now.
Yeah.
I'll watch it after I watch Shang-Chi and Jungle Cruise.
I mean, I like Jungle Cruise.
I love Disney. Yum, yum, yum. Feed me more.
I like Jungle Cruise.
Feed me, Daddy.
Watch Red Notice.
I'm a baby.
Red Notice. Check that one out. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. You're such a, as they would say on certain areas of the internet, Jacob is a consumer.
Watch Red Notice. It's a good movie.
That is definitely not what I've heard. What I've heard and seen is that some people have theorized that none of the main actors and actresses were even in the same scenes at the same time. They were just all on separate green screens and got spliced into the movie together.
I enjoyed it.
Hopefully, you've come to this point in the podcast not feeling as completely exhausted, concerned about the future of the medium of film, because the future of this podcast I think is looking up. I think we're getting closer and closer
to better movies.
We're getting into the musicals. Give me High School Musical 2. Give me The Descendants.
Lucas
Give me
gets moist thinking about
Zombies.
Those.
Give me that shit. Give me Lemon Mouth or Lemonade Mouth. Give me Teen Beach Party.
Oh no.
Give me Camp Rock. Give me all of those. But for now, we're in sequel land. Which is okay, I guess, though. There's actually not a lot of sequels that end up being better than the originals. I'm going to stop us here. We are going all over the place. But if you want to talk about how we're out of control and we need to fucking rein it in, or if you just want to call us Amigos Cheetos. Doritos Locos Tacos, you can write us at awholenewpod@gmail.com. Rate us and review us. Subscribe to us. Spread the word about us on Apple Podcasts.
Support. Tell
Spotify.
Your mom. Your dad.
I thought you said tell your aunt.
Your aunt, uncle.
We're coming up to, at least in America, we've got Thanksgiving coming up here. Yeah. So maybe it's got some long road trips, or people who may be taking some road trips.
Get the podcast going at the dinner table.
Yeah.
A whole new pod in Turkey. Nothing goes better together.
Any kind of family controversies at all. Actually, I do get kind of hot take political at times, including in this episode. Talk to your crazy uncle about the estate tax. But yes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher. Jacob loves to talk about our YouTube channel.
315 subscribers.
We broke the 300 barrier finally. Yeah. That's exciting. I think we still get some comments here and there of people in different languages, I assuming, saying, why isn't this the movie?
I want the movie.
Which I actually, in their defense, I don't think Disney Plus is super widespread across the world. So for us to be like, just get Disney Plus, it's maybe not that easy for them. But they could get a VPN and then get Disney Plus or whatever. It's workable. Also, I think I've said this in past episodes, the fucking younger generation, you gotta learn how to fucking pirate shit.
Oh.
You gotta learn where to find illegal streams. You gotta learn what a fucking BitTorrent is.
Yeah.
You gotta work out for yourself.
Figure it out.
Because
get it together.
They made it easy with streaming for a while, but now there's too many fucking streaming services. That's so true. y'all gotta get your pirating on.
Can't afford 10 different streaming services.
I mean, I fucking pay for a lot of them because it's still easier, but I still know how to pirate, so I can fucking talk down to the younger generation.
Arr. He just R's at people now.
And a number of episodes ago, I said I would let Jacob plug his TikTok on here, and then I never did again because I think, as I said, Dustin was saying you were putting fucking TikTok speak on this podcast.
I don't know.
You're saying what? Aaron
Brockovich.
Aaron Baca or some shit.
Oh, Sussy Baca.
Yeah, Sussy Baca. I
can spell like
definitely
a
want no part of that. But Jacob, go ahead and plug your TikTok.
I haven't even been doing anything on there in like a month or two.
Oh, that's classic for Jacob.
Well, I've had some
I think the reason why I stopped plugging is because while I said, Jacob, you can plug your TikTok, I simultaneously hinted that he should restart our Twitter account.
Yes.
But you can follow Jacob on Twitter or me, and you'll maybe see that about once or twice a year, Jacob will say something very stupid on there, and I'll have a long thread arguing with him. So that's like a text version of the podcast, potentially. But otherwise, I hardly use Twitter. I like a lot of stuff, but I rarely post.
Jacob_Telejohn, I think, is both my Twitter
Hit him up on all my socials.
And my TikTok. Jacob_Telejohn is about it for everything.
We in there. We out there. We
Check
out there. Hey, where? I'm dying. That's actually how we're going to end the episode. The announcement that this
you
podcast,
have cancer.
I have terminal podcast disorder.
Oh no!
This show has killed me. But we were talking about Red Notice and streaming services, and also things that maybe kill me inside. So with that, we'll close out here. Jacob's given some recommendations of stuff to watch, and I'll say check out on Netflix. Check out Cowboy Bebop. Not the new one, not the live action one. They got the cartoon up there. They got the anime. Watch that.
They do have that.
Great marketing of Netflix to release that on there before the live action one. So people can be like, hey, this is pretty good.
Yes.
And this other thing, this is shit.
All the single furries, 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 all the single furries. Now put your paws up. I'm just a pup, don't know how to stop. Was shaking my own little tail. Decided to wag, had to beg. You didn't even notice me. I'm down here, you're up there. Don't pay me any attention. I fold my ears and face my fears. You think you are too good for me. Cause if you liked it, then you should have put a leash on it. If you liked it, then you should have put a leash on it. Don't be mad once you see that they want it. Cause if you liked it, then you should have put a leash on it.
This isn't about Mamma Mia, here we go again. It never was. This is about you. Somewhere along the way, you changed. You were sapped of your childlike capacity for wonder and withered into the husk of a person you've become, a cold, dead-eyed automaton forever wagging its finger in the face of those who just want to sit in a cool, dark movie theater, throw back some popcorn and escape the harshness of reality for 2 goddamn hours. You realize this is why people don't like you, right? That every time you criticize a perfectly fine piece of pop culture, you drive your friends just a little bit farther away? Keep it up. And eventually you'll be all alone, stewing in your own hatred and bile. And you know who you're going to turn all that bitterness and resentment on then? Yourself. For the Onion's Film Standard, I'm Peter Rosenthal.